Hey everyone, welcome back to More Than Just Task Management, your favorite daily productivity podcast. With me, Anna Angelova, a business coach and consultant, and co host of this podcast. And as always, I have Joris Miasvan here with me.
Hi, everyone. Today's episode is about focus. Why is it so hard to maintain? How our brains get distracted, and with I think we know the how, but and how we can train ourselves to work smarter, not harder.
And if you think about it, it's such an important topic in today's world because everything is so fast paced and our attention is constantly being pulled, right? Like we constantly have something dinging somewhere and asking us to pay attention, emails, social media, text messages, endless to-do lists. And when you sit down to do focused work, what happens is that you find yourself scrolling down somewhere a rabbit hole 10 minutes into this, right?
Email icon pops up, and oops, I need a squirrel.
Yeah. So if this is your daily work, like if this is how you do focused work, definitely listen to this episode today.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with one of the things around. So when you think about focus, like a lot of people think that, oh, it's willpower. I just need to put myself, like push myself and just grind through the thing. The reality, though, is that focus is actually a skill that can be trained and improved.
Yeah, it's not something you have or don't have. It's something you practice, you can learn, and you can train your brain to learn how to do. It's like a muscle,
Yeah,
right?
it's a
And then
habit.
the more,
It's a
yeah,
habit.
the more you practice, the better you get at focusing and deep focusing.
Yeah, and in general, our brain is constantly aware of things, right? Even if we are not aware, like it's constantly scanning the environment and doing things. And from one perspective, like it's natural that we get distracted, right? Uh, uh, and with technology, especially today, the way it's pulling us and dinging and all these kind of things, studies are showing that our attention span. I know that I don't. I think it's like a joke, but that like a goldfish has a longer attention span of like 3 seconds than we do, which is really scary if you think about it. Actually,
It is scary, but the good news is, when we understand how focus works, we can better rewire our brains to
yeah.
concentrate longer and longer and longer, and then avoid distractions.
Which actually like how it works, right? If you think about it, I really love that idea of the fact that we don't have one brain, we have multiple brains. So one is the mechanical one that just makes sure that we survive. Like it's the one that takes care of the breathing and all things that we don't control consciously. And then from there we have the second one, which is I think most people call this one the monkey brain. And I think the scientific term would be like limbic or whatever it is. Yeah. And this is the one that gets distracted easily. Like it sees a squirrel and it's like squirrel. The one that wants the constant attention, the one that really like wants interesting things. And then the third part, which I've heard it as like sage or monkey, sorry, not monkey, monk. So sage or monk brain. This is the prefrontal cortex, which is it's the newest part of our brain actually. And the one that's the rational, right? The one that we think, oh, this is the rational one. This is the one that
Wants to stay on track in the right
wants, has the goals, the aspirations.
Yeah, and these two systems are all constantly competing for control. Your prefrontal cortex, which is the monk brain, who
The
wants to
sage
stay on
monk,
track and do the right thing, versus the limbic system, who constantly wants stimulation. And this is where we get tempted. We look at the phone. We check out TV or whatever the brain wants. Absolutely, yeah.
And here is the thing that because we said that it's like a habit, right? Focus is like a habit. And we mentioned about habits that one of the things with the habit is the reward. And the thing is that dopamine, right? Like this is such a reward for our brain. It's such a chemical reward for our brain. And every time we check a notification, we get a dopamine hit. Every time we see, oh, someone liked the post we posted, we get a dopamine hit. Reinforcing the habit of distraction. Because remember, if you remember how the habit works, right? It has the cue, oh, something dinged. And when it ding, what do? We take that action, and at the end we get the reward of the dopamine hit, and it really, distraction is a habit, and focus can also be a habit if you choose it to. And anyone can build the skill.
You can train your brain to delay satisfaction of that distraction, that dopamine, and stay focused. And this way you rewire your brain in staying, in learning to stay in focus longer and longer, and finding that reward in focus rather than.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's possible. So speaking of the fact that it's possible, what do we do? How can we train our brain to concentrate and better resist distractions?
Yeah, there's something called the 90-minute focus rule. Start with that. First, use that rule. Your brain will naturally work in 90-minute cycles at peak focus, followed by a deep energy drop. So remember, we talked about prioritizing your work against your energy.
Yes, with the energy
cycles. You know this 90-minute cycle of focus. Do your best job, your highest at your energy, and then if there is a distraction required or a rest required for rejuvenating, use that one.
I actually love the 90-minute because if you think about it, like 90-minute, when you sit down for 90 minutes, you can really achieve a lot in 90 minutes when it's like focused work. You can really achieve a lot, and I personally love using the 90-minute cycles. And what I would actually start with, in a way, preparation is key, right? So when you schedule this 90-minute cycle for you to work, like this 90 minutes of focused work, remove distractions, because habits work based on cues. If you don't have the cue, the habit will not kick in. So the distraction habit will not kick in if you don't have the cue. So before you start, put your phone away, silence it, airplane mode. To turn it into airplane mode. If anyone needs emergency, call emergency. Turn off notifications, even on the laptop or wherever you're doing your work. Like turn off email notifications, turn off any other notifications, Slack, Teams, whatever you have. Put some of these things away. Like even your phone can go into a completely different room. And there are even apps that you can use even on the laptop where it doesn't allow you to go on Facebook and Instagram and these places, like that actually help you create an environment that is free of the distraction. It removes the cues that put you in distraction mode.
Third option and third way of doing this is train your focus with mindfulness. 5 minutes of meditation will allow you to refocus and push, or you said remove distractions. This mindfulness meditation will allow you to do that. And then you focus all your energy on your focus time.
Yeah, mindfulness and doing a little bit of meditation, actually, it has, I see a couple of benefits in this one, because so one thing is that it actually helps us concentrate and focus, helps us step into the now. And we're really in flow when you're in the here and the now, when we don't have all these things pulling us in the past, the future. So this is one thing. And then the other thing, which we talked about, removing the cues for the distraction. How about creating a cue or a ritual for focus? And this can be, like, part of this ritual can be mindfulness, 5 minutes of meditation, 5 minutes of mindfulness. And I think you can call this a focus trigger. Like, what I love the word ritual. So you can actually make tea for yourself, or put noise cancelling headphones, right? Like we have the noise cancelling headphones, or make yourself a cup of coffee if this is your preferred beverage. Listen to some kind of music. Like I love classical music. It's really beautiful. So, and with time, what will happen is that as you start this ritual, your brain will associate this with deep work, with focused work, and will naturally start getting into that frame of mind.
Yeah. So how do we make these things long term, right? Long-term habit. So building long-term focus isn't just about, well, one of the ways to do it is avoiding distractions, but it's all about optimizing your brain's ability to stay engaged longer and longer.
Yeah, that's true. Taking care of your brain, right? Because like, if you are not able to really focus in that 90 minutes, like even if you said it, even if you have the ritual, like you wouldn't achieve a lot, right? And we're not here to just do without achievement, right? Like we want this to be actually productive. We want to have for you to be efficient and effective. So I know we've talked about this a few times, even this week. Sleep, so important. Movement, like moving your body. I was seeing scans, like I don't know if it was National Geographic or where I saw those. They were showing the scans of the brain before a walk, 20-minute walk, and after a 20-minute walk. So even just a 20-minute walk has such an impact on our brain. And food, the food we eat, like we've talked about this, right? The brain actually needs really good and healthy fat, omega-3, nuts, even butter, like real butter, like, and dark chocolate, like they can really help with mental clarity. And one of the things we mentioned, I think even yesterday, like bulletproof coffee. When we have bulletproof coffee with butter, like we feel so much more alert and present and do so much work. And we're on a almost 36-hour fast now. And it's amazing, like some of these things, how much food impacts us.
Mhm.
And last but not least, when you sit down for these 90 minutes, right? It's all about single tasking. Like we think, oh, we can multitask. Multitask is a myth as well.
Mhm.
And we'll probably have an episode specifically on multitasking one of these days. But focus on one thing, like really focus. If you want to achieve a lot in that 90 minutes, focus on one thing, because again, it helps with efficiency, with effectiveness, and it also reduces your mental tiredness, like you're not that tired. Because like when we multitask, what actually happens is our brain switches from one task to the other too quickly for us to realize what it's doing, and this is draining, like this drains us.
Best example of that, try driving and using your phone.
Yeah,
If you can do that and not get into an accident or end up in a ditch, you can multitask.
don't try it. Don't try it.
No,
Don't try it.
virtually. Try it.
Don't try it. Imagine it. Just imagine it. Don't try it.
And set boundaries. Set very clear boundaries. Remember we talked about last week where we said take care of yourself and block your set boundaries. Don't let anyone interrupt your time you block for your exercise.
Yeah.
This
Or
is the same thing for family time. So this is for your brain training. You need to set, if you constantly allow people to interrupt you, your ability to focus will never improve.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, this is another distraction, right? Allowing people to interact us. So oh my God. Anyway, I lost the word. Interrupt us. Yeah, interrupt us. There's time to interact.
Longer, that's 36 hours and counting.
Well, in some aspects, I feel more alert. In other aspects, I'm starting to think about food a lot.
Drumsticks.
Drumsticks. Okay. More or less, I think this is a wrap for today.
All right.
So just again, a quick recap. It's not a willpower. Like being focused is a skill. It's a habit that we can all develop if we want to. And the thing is that we don't have the one brain, right? We have three. Forget about the automatic one, the one that mechanical, like it doesn't, like it's doing its job. We don't care about it. The two that interact with each other and that matter when we talk about focus are the monkey and the monk. Like the one that has the goals and the one that is like squirrel. Let me do something. Check. Yeah, exactly. And ultimately, how you go into focus is like schedule that 90-minute focus time, the 90-minute focus rule. Eliminate the distractions, eliminate the cues for distractions, and create rituals and cues for mindful, like for mindful work, for focus work, and to help you in the long term. Take care of your brain, right? Sleep, food, movement, and single task. Focus, focus, focus.
Yeah. So here's a challenge. I know every episode we give you a challenge, but I think these are the small steps that make a change.
Of course.
So take a strategy from every one of these episodes, apply them at the end.
Yeah, one thing.
Yeah, take one thing from today, and we gave you one thing from yesterday, and today, and these are, like I said, small steps that make a change.
Yeah.
If you don't do this, then you stay the same that you were before you started watching this podcast. There's a reason you're watching it. You have a desire. So pick one or two of these strategies, apply it for a few weeks at least, and we always say 1 week, 2 weeks not enough. And then see, you will notice you will be smarter, you will work smarter and harder.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really action. Like, it's not, knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. So that's why every day we encourage you to try one thing. And like today, one thing I will be doing is having that 90-minute session where I focus on content, for creating content for next week.
I'll be sleeping a lot today, so thank you, everyone.
The different thing. Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in again. And as usual, we will have the next episode tomorrow. If you want to watch us live, come to the YouTube channel at Plandor.
Subscribe.
Subscribe,
yes. Comment. Tell us what works, what doesn't work.
Absolutely.
Keep us honest.
Yep. And until tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.